Yay!
Welcome back to the Animation Weekly Recap. So happy to have you.
We have so much energy that we're ready to give you.
It's a Christmas spirit in us.
I love this sweater.
Our hearts are full and warm. Thank you.
And the green and the red. That's right. Roger Rabbit is there.
He is. And
he's Christmassy.
We are selling him $20,000 or best offer.
Oh, wow. We went there. He probably is going to be up for sale. Yeah. Real quick aside, since we brought it up, this is the actual Roger Rabbit standee that was in the Richard Williams studio back in 1987. It's dated and signed by somebody that made it. Nobody I could find in the credits. But I know the history for a lot of reasons. This standee was in the Florida studio after Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out, the Florida Disney studio. It was sitting in the corner for many years because Max Howard, who had worked on the original in UK with Richard Williams at that studio, he brought it with him and put it in the Florida studio when he set up that studio. And I worked there as a 21-year-old.
Crazy. Don't point to me. I'm not 21.
You're not quite 21. You're a little bit older than that. But you used to be. Used to be. And anyway, I used to sit right next to this Roger anyway, long story short. When I left Disney, it came with me.
Love it. It has coffee stains on it from the Disney days.
Yeah, it used to be covered with rubber bands from all the rubber band fights that we used to have.
You guys are so weird.
We were in our 20s. I just said that. So,
yeah, and nerdy, so.
And nerdy.
Yeah, it's okay though. It's still are.
Making classics that last forever.
True that. True that.
You try that in your 20s.
I'm working on it in my job at Pencilish Animation Studios. I'm creating a classic right now called the Animation Weekly Recap.
Good answer.
Let's
get into it.
Let's get into it. We hope you're having a happy holiday.
Number 1.
Wait. I'm still not done with the intro.
Take it back.
We hope you're having a happy holiday and had a grand Thanksgiving. Okay, article number 1. Let's see. Disney's Moana 2 charts a course through multiple box office records. Shocker.
Wow.
I will say the biggest shock for me was it had a 5-day domestic debut of $221 million. And I don't know numbers because that's a lot, but all I do know is I was like, well, Wild Robot had to be more. I just looked it up, $35 million.
Yeah, the little dirty little secret is Wild Robot, though critically acclaimed, has not really made a lot at the box office.
No, it has. We've talked about it.
Well, like they thought. Like I think it's not playing its weight. Let's put it that way. I think it's a way better film than Moana 2, but Moana 2 is like cleaning up.
Yeah. You know, the crazy thing is, actually, it's not that crazy because we talk about it literally every time, but it's just remake after, or like part 2 and all this stuff to every film. We went to go see Wicked, which was also a remake. And
of a play, though.
Of a play. And it was the first time to do it.
Makes it pretty original. Yeah.
But every, trailer before was Mufasa, and then they're remaking live action version of How to Train Your Dragon and like all that. And I was like, there's no originality. I mean, even Wicked, like, let's be honest, they remade a play. No one's making something from scratch.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, it is. Okay, so we're living in a world, the entertainment business, the business side of the entertainment business is not doing so well. It's doing really bad. And so when that happens, the executives they don't want to gamble. They don't want to take any risks. Risk averse is what they call that. And so when they're listening to pitches or anything like that, they're like, okay, was this a hit in the 90s? Because that's what I want to hear. You know, like bring back RoboCop or whatever. And that's where we're at.
Good for them. They opened the most markets around the world with 165 million internationally, bringing its global
cumulative
total to date at 386 million, the second biggest global debut of 2024. I'm assuming the first.
And I don't know if I've
Wicked. I don't know.
Global release.
Yeah.
Well, no, that would probably be either Inside Out 2 and probably it's Wolverine.
Actually,
Deadpool versus Wolverine or something.
Okay.
I think that's the number 1.
It actually talks about Inside Out 2 in here, but No, Inside Out 2 did 155 million. They did 221 million. So
yeah, it's on track to beat. And by the way, Inside Out 2 is already $1 billion film. So Moana 2 most likely is going to be well over $1 billion film. I think Inside Out 2 is $1.5 billion or something already.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So the domestic records include biggest 5-day opening of all time, surpassing the Super Mario Bros. Movie. That did that well.
Yeah.
204.6 million.
A lot of people like that.
Biggest Thanksgiving weekend of all time by far.
Wow.
221 million 5-day, surpassing Frozen's 2, 125.
Wow.
Biggest Thanksgiving debut by far, more than doubling Frozen's. Thanksgiving Day of 28 million, nearly doubling Frozen's 15 million. Highest ever Black Friday at the box office, exceeding Frozen's. Biggest Walt Disney Animation Studio debut of all time.
Wow.
Moana 2.
Thank you for saying that one more time. I agree.
No, that's
Moana
crazy.
2 is making that kind of money.
Biggest of all time for Walt Disney? Like Moana 2? Okay.
And we already talked about this, but I'm going to say it really quick. Moana 2 was a TV show that they just put 3 episodes together, basically. They say that, didn't I say this in Moana? We talked about Moana 2 a little bit ago, I thought.
I did not know this, unless I was ignoring you.
I think you were. I think I did say it in one of our weeklies, but you probably were, you kind of were like this.
Yeah, sometimes I yawn and doze out.
Moana 2 was originally set up to be a TV series for Disney Plus. I'm pretty sure I said this.
I swear you have not said this, because I would actually like to.
Please put it in the comments if you remember me saying this in a past episode, probably only 3 episodes back.
You have not.
Anyway, Moana 2 was a TV show for Disney Plus, and they realized really quickly that Moana 1 is one of the biggest streamed. It's the biggest streamed thing on Disney Plus. It's the #1 thing, and that counts Star Wars. That's counting Marvel movies.
That's insane.
It's beating everything. And so they went,
I mean, it's good, but
let's bump this up to a feature film. And I think I heard that they already had like the first episode done, and they barely tweaked it at all. Then they just added the other couple and probably revised the next, like the second
episodes
and third
never
episode.
came out.
No, it never came out.
Okay.
This was while they were developing it. Yeah.
I see.
But they were well into it, made that pivot to making it into a feature film. And I've heard a lot of people say that that's where you can that's the fault. Critics have said it feels like it's not really, it's like repeating the same story.
It looks exactly like the same story.
It's not really any new. I have heard the villain in it. They've introduced a new villain that they said was really interesting. And I've heard good things about her, that new character. Although they did say she just sort of disappears. Like it's sort of not resolved very well. That's what I've heard. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably will never see this movie. I don't really care.
I kind of want to see it on. They introduced her sister. She's
Are
got
they in
little
Hawaii?
sisters now. Yeah. It's basically Hawaii. I think I don't know if they
'cause
call it
Maui
Hawaii.
is-
Yeah, I don't think they call it Hawaii. I think they call it
It's
the
like
Pacific
Pacific
Islands.
Islanders.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that movie we watched. Do you remember that?
No.
It was funny. Okay. We watched it when you flew into our trip. Anyways.
It was
Good job, guys.
It's
Congrats, Moana. Can't say I'm shocked. But actually shocked about the biggest Walt Disney Studio debut of all time.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
nobody thought it would make this kind of money.
Yeah, that's cuckoo.
Yeah.
Also, why are you guys spending Thanksgiving watching Moana? Go spend your time with your family.
You can see a movie.
Stop giving Disney
We saw
all your
Wicked.
money.
We saw Wicked, and you were okay with
The
that.
day after Thanksgiving.
That's one of the biggest movie days, the day after Thanksgiving. That's why they said Black Friday.
I noticed that, and I get
numbers.
nervy with crowds. Oh, it was a lot of people.
It's more fun with lots of people. Anyway,
Nah.
what's our second story?
Yeah.
Number 2.
Number 2. This one I'm excited to hear your thoughts on. Spellbound, making children of divorce feel seen.
I love it when they put that. Feel
Yes.
seen.
The lonely days, the sleepless nights, the mess, the moods, the attitudes, the guilt, the stress, the helplessness, the doubt, the shame, the fear. Spellbound covers it all in this 3D CG musical of a young girl so good, so strong, so sweet, and so brave, who's trying to keep her kingdom and family together while hiding the fact that her parents, who no longer love each other, have been turned into monsters by a dark spell. And despite her best efforts, 15-year-old Princess Elian eventually collapses under the pressure that should never have been placed on her shoulders to begin with. And it's up to her parents turned monsters to mend the mess they've made.
This is a bizarre premise.
I was really interested on your thoughts.
Well, I mean, the premise sounds all over the place. It feels like 3 different ideas kind of crammed together. I'm sure it doesn't feel that way. I know people that worked on this, artists that have worked on this. They're great artists. So yeah, congratulations. Visually, it looks beautiful. Was this DreamWorks? Did we say that? I can't remember.
Skydance.
Oh, right, Skydance. Yeah, so
it does look great.
A lot of talented people worked on this, so it does look good. This is for Apple, I'm assuming. It was an Apple release.
I have no idea.
Well, it's at the
Netflix.
theaters.
It's on Netflix.
Oh, right. Okay, Netflix.
So you're kind of not feeling that?
Now I'm kind of, I hate to say it, I'm a little interested in seeing this movie.
Just because you're like, how do they pull that off?
How did they pull that off?
Yeah.
And was it worth it? Did it make sense? Because not only are they, from the little bit of trailer I saw, when they become monsters, they don't talk, right? So that makes it even more complicated. Are they trying to show, like, is there sort of a moral to the story at the end where, like, the parents have to work together, I'm assuming?
Well, that's what it says.
Maybe did they hate each other
to mend the mess
first?
they've made. That's literally what it says. And
I know. I'm going a little bit further.
Read to you.
You said that, but they were light terms. What I'm saying is, do they show them arguing, fighting, and then they have to come together, but now they can't talk? So, like, I don't know. Like, and is that super important when your parents have already become monsters and they're the king and queen? That's already a big
I'll give
problem.
you my POV because I think that I get where you're going at, but I think I get where they're going at.
You tell me, as a child of not divorce, how do you feel about this? So do you understand?
Okay, actually, I was initially like, come on, let's not get into this.
Yeah.
And then I thought about how over 50% of marriages end in divorce, and the children are the ones that left to pick up the baggage. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Actually, I respect that. This is so, like, a lot of people will, like, relate to this. A lot of children will, unfortunately, but that's the life we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, a lot of people will relate to this. I actually appreciate that, and I'm kind of shocked it's not done more often. Mm-hmm. Then
it's usually one of the parents is killed off. Like, we see a lot of those.
They're always killed off, which is way less common. Than
you're right.
The divorce.
Good point.
But it kind of lost me with the monsters. But I think the reason they did that is because I think they're trying to relate to the kids that, let me see how to word this. The kids that are trying to hide what's going on at home, and they can't make it about parents screaming and maybe potentially abuse, so they make it that they're monsters, and that's what she's hiding at home.
Oh, I get that.
That's what I think is what's going on, because that she's taking on all of the pressure.
An analogy.
I think that, and I think monsters, like, they're monsters. Get it?
Yeah.
I think that's the analogy.
Turning Red kind of did a similar thing with sort of that coming of age moment for girls.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, and maybe that is sort of how that came about.
And also, you kind of got to have some like interest for children in it too. You know, you can't just make it a movie about divorce for kids.
Well, and how do you visualize some of those emotions and just that separation? And make them monsters,
and they can't speak.
Yeah.
And monsters make sense because they're being monsters at home.
And maybe them not speaking, and I hope I'm right about the not speaking. I did see the trailer, and it did seem like they couldn't speak, at least for a while. But anyway, now I guess you could say I'm a little more interested now.
I'm actually I had no interest.
Yeah.
And I have a glimmer of interest. Mm-hmm. I just really do want to see how they pull that off.
Question to the audience, though. Put in the comments if you thought this. When I saw this, and it came from the exact same studio, Skydance Films made this film, but they also made a film a while back called Luck. And the girl
I've
in
seen
Luck,
ads for that.
yeah, the girl in Luck looks like this girl, and it's coming from the same studio. And I bet if you put them together, they don't really look alike.
Oh, they kind of do.
But that was the vibe I got. It was like, this feels like Luck, like a sequel to Luck almost, because it felt like the same girl.
She's an older version.
She's older in Luck. Yeah, you're right.
But it literally looks like her grown up.
I wonder how old she's supposed to be.
Can you add pictures, Philip, of this is the girl in Luck, and this is the girl in Spellbound?
Now,
side by side, maybe?
Side by side. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. You actually make a good point. Well,
and that now will become racist somehow. I don't know. I don't know their nationalities. I just want to throw that out there. They just
I don't think it's racist. They're
character
just two
design
girls
wise,
with brown hair.
very similar and similar hair. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
You're fine.
I'm so
we
scared.
have like 200 people that watch this.
All the time. I'm scared.
I know. You're going to get canceled.
I know.
Anyways, I'm actually really interested in this because I do feel like this could be really good. And speak to the people.
I feel like we made a full,
that get it.
you know, I'm the same way. I'm like, I wish there wasn't the monsters.
You just needed to hear my POV.
I know. I must admit, I wish there wasn't the monsters just based on the trailer. I'm like, that's what threw me. Honestly, that right when I saw that, I was like, oh, they turned into monsters. I kind of care less. But now that we've talked it through, and maybe we're making up our own storyline a little bit.
I know, and I like it. I like our storyline.
If they went our direction, I now want to see that movie. Yeah.
I know. I want to see if they did go our direction.
I bet they wish they would have if they didn't.
I know, because that was genius.
We're genius.
Oh, we're so smart. Okay, Article 3.
3.
This one's shockingly from Newser.
Newser? What is Newser?
Where did
Newser.com?
Where did it go?
Maybe it's not from Newser.
It's right there.
Newser sucks.
Yes, it is from Newser. Runners, have you seen this?
I have seen this, yes.
I thought it was so fun, I had to throw it in.
Oh, it's good, yeah.
Okay, so Runner's GPS animation stuns the internet.
A runner, his GPS animation, which is still confusing. Here's a picture of a frame from that, and maybe it's animating. I don't know if you can.
It is. I don't know if you can add that. Yeah.
But anyway, in general, this is what it looks like. It's the map, right? With the red line of what...
It's like, My Fitness app or Map My Run.
Map My Run.
It's like one of those, and it shows where you went. And so he ran 700 miles over 10 months to create a dancing stick man.
It's amazing when you think about what had to go into this. I mean, animation's hard already, let's be honest.
Right. And then you have to work out too.
It's not amazing animation, but the fact that it is animation, and it is very clearly, it's solid. We'll just say that. Like, it's a stick figure animation that you get exactly what he's doing. He lifts his hat, he does this walk, and
he's like...
Or he's dancing. He's dancing.
He's like a financial... Oh, he's an accountant. Mm. And this is just what he was doing to kind of like make his life interesting after work or something.
It seems insane to plan it out. You'd have to go to the map probably and like sort of draw over it. Well, I watched some of his video, and apparently he was like it was a terrible way to run because I was running. I'd be like, okay, am I there? Am I there? Am I there? Okay, turn back. Yeah.
Like, he was just running to get the stick figures.
That makes sense. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
And you have to be pretty accurate in where you stopped and turned around.
Because the length of the arm is the same every time. And then, like, how it moves and stuff. And how do you even plan that within the streets? What if you need it to go like this, but those are buildings?
Well, I think he probably figured that out first. That found a spot that had mostly streets, like, like a residential kind of area, probably.
It's like, it looks like it's like a town. It's in Toronto. It looks like it's like city-ish.
Oh, in Canada. So easy to do this. No, I'm kidding.
Please.
But here's my question.
Show us, then. Why don't you run
I have a feeling, this is my theory, and I would do this as an animator, but also as somebody that doesn't want to run that much. I have a feeling, because if you look at it, there's like printouts at the bottom. Like, it's the full screen of his GPS to kind of prove that that's what this is.
Right.
You could see the numbers changing from day to day, of his run.
Yeah, and it says morning run and night run.
Yeah.
Morning.
And here's my guess. I wonder how many of those he reused. He's like, oh, okay, because there's repetition in a dance, right? Is he cycling and reusing those drawings. I'm going to call them drawings, but those map drawings and those poses to make that, you know what I mean? So he doesn't have to just repeat.
But he still ran 700 miles in 10 months.
It's still amazing.
I would love so much to see you run 700 miles in 10 months.
No problem. Yeah, right. Let's do it. You do it with me. Let's go.
Okay.
I'll lose my 20 pounds I need to lose. Sure.
Sure.
Not in the winter, though. And it's cold right now, so we're going to
Right. We have to push it off to next year.
Let's wait till, I don't know, July. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, that's too hot.
Yeah.
Let's say May-ish, June.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And then pause for summer.
Put a pin in it. Yep.
Okay. Anyways, I just thought that was so fun. I was like, I have to put that in here. We will never have a running article on this ever again.
We'll never, ever talk about running again. Oh, until May or June.
Right. When we start doing this. Right.
But anyway, great story. And yeah, if we didn't show the animation, actually, go look it up. And it did go
It's really cool. You guys should look it up.
It was on TikTok and it went
viral, yeah.
Pretty viral, yeah. So
it's awesome.
You'll be able to find it.
I love it. That one made my day. It's just like, oh, he's just spending his after work hours, just making himself happy.
Well, it was morning, noon, and night. I kind of think this guy works from home, and he's doing lunch breaks. Like basically, if I was his boss, I'd see that and I'd go, "Hey, we need to have a talk."
No.
You got a little too much free time.
Why are you talking like that?
Because I'm the boss. I'm his mean boss.
Yeah, but you're my boss, and you never talked like that to me.
That's what I'd do to that guy. If I saw you, if you put that out, I'd be like, Ansley, get in here.
Stop. I hate that voice. It's weird.
We need to talk.
Okay. Anyways.
Yeah.
We're going to go on a run after this.
Oh, my gosh, we're not. I'm going to go to dinner.
Where are you going?
It's your mom's birthday, actually. We're going to take her out to dinner.
It's not her birthday.
Not
her birthday was Sunday when we spent time together. Don't make me look crappy on her.
I was trying to make you look bad.
I know.
As if you didn't know.
It's your mother's birthday.
Yeah. So anyway,
5 days later.
We're doing a late friend.
At least I got my mom a birthday gift, unlike you.
Let's not go there. I'm spending money to take her on a trip. So that's how that's happening. And it's later. Back in May when I'm running. I'm gonna take her on a trip.
She's gonna have
a lot of promises. A lot of promises. Yeah.
Love it.
Hey,
Anywho,
this was fun.
Love ya.
Boom.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like what you just saw, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, Pencilish Studios.